Hey, welcome to Gun Stuff. Today we get a chance to come out to the range and shoot the Kalashnikov USA KR-9. So we just got this in. Open it up here, show you what you get. So this is a 9mm PCC based on the AK platform. So we're gonna get this thing set up and we're gonna and get some optics on it and stuff like that and get it all set up to shoot, and we're gonna go down range, put some rounds through it. All right, so here we are. We're out at about 15-20 yards. I threw a red dot on here. This is a SIG red dot. Threw a forward grip on here and a sling, so that way just for a little bit of training today and just to run through this. So what we're going to do right now is I'm just going to just zero this thing in and get my red dot hitting about where I want at 20, and then we'll go back at 50, and then we'll shoot some groups and stuff at 50. So, and then we'll test it for accuracy. All right. So this thing's way off. Of course, I got to make a bunch of big adjustments here. Get this thing on target. A couple more shots. All right, so now I'm hitting about where I want at 20 yards, and then what I'll do is I'll give it a couple more adjustments when we get back to 50, but we just want to make sure we're in the ballpark, so that way when we move back to 50, we're not having to search around into the hillside and see where I'm impacting on the grass. But since I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and mag dump the rest of what we got in here. Oh man, nice. Gotta love the AK platform. So we're out here at 50 yards now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and fire a couple rounds out of here. We're gonna shoot a couple decent groups and see where we're at. I'm not really necessarily so much worried about where I'm hitting on target. I'm not gonna be trying to chase groups to put groups on the target itself. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to use those two white targets down there as aiming points. I'll shoot one group, I'll go down and check it out, I'll run back up here, make an adjustment, and then I'll shoot a follow-up group. But what I'm really looking at on this is I'm just going to try and shoot solid tight groups. So, and with shooting a red dot, you know, I kind of didn't really put a scope, didn't bring a scope to put on this today, but I have astigmatism, so red dots kind of mess with me a little bit. I get a little bit of a blur on them, so we'll just knock out the tightest group we can here today just to give you guys a demonstration of what it can do. All right. All right, so let's go down and check out the target. All right, so here we are at the target. This is our 50-yard group. Shot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I shot 7 rounds in this group. And what I was just going for a large sampling, so that way if there was any odd flyers or anything like that that were way out of the norm, that it would kind of give me a nice tight group of where that is. So I expect this to shoot a little bit high because I had it dead on at 20. So that bullet's still climbing, so I knew that it was going to climb up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, I'm going to give it another one more adjustment, and then we'll take a nice tight group at this. But when I'm back at 50 with the red dot that I'm using, the red dot is actually bigger than the red dot appears to be about this big. It's covering this whole target when I'm shooting at it. So this is about the size of the dot that I see superimposed on the target as I'm shooting. So I'm just going to give it an adjustment, go from there, and then we'll come back and put another one just to give you guys an idea of the accuracy that these things can have. All right, and then I'm going to bring it one more to the right. Made a conservative adjustment on here. Again, like I said, we're not trying to get this thing to be pinpoint accuracy and move right. All we really want to do is get a good group, and the last thing I want to do is be shooting over the shoulder or something like that. So I'm going to give an adjustment to get it closer to the white. Now we're going to go ahead and shoot another 5 to 7 shot group. All right, let's go and take a look at it. We shot another group at 50 yards. We had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shot. There's 2 bullets right here, and this one here is 2 shots. So essentially, we moved our group from up in this area to the center of the group has been shifted down. I made a conservative adjustment on it. I didn't want to go too big and have a big jump or something like that. So I just gave it a small adjustment. If I was shooting this thing and this was going to be my own gun that I was going to be using all the time, of course I would dial this thing into where everything would be on the card. But this gun is obviously more than capable of doing that. So the reason I'm shooting such a large sampling size is to throw out, so that way it mitigates all the random flyers. So basically we're looking at the group itself. If I were to have a flyer up here and a flyer down here, then really I would be paying more attention to where the majority of the rounds are landing, and I would just discount the other ones as to my poor marksmanship with like breathing or trigger control or something like that. But this is more than adequate for what we're looking for out of a PCC. So we're gonna go back now. We're gonna shoot some 100-yard and some 150-yard, maybe even 200. All right, so here we are. We're at the firing line now. We're gonna go engage some targets. We're gonna go 50, 100, 150. We're gonna start bumping this out a little bit. All right, so first thing I'm gonna engage is the 50. All right, no problems there. I'm gonna go out to 100 now. All right, so now then we're gonna go out to 150. All right, consistently hitting the 150. So we're gonna reset everything and we'll go back a little bit further. All right, so here we are. We've moved back into the pin area. So now we're gonna go ahead and be trying to engage about 200 yards. Take my time on this one because this red dot is now bigger than the actual target itself almost. So let's try and go a little bit slower. All right, so we're consistently hitting at 200 with this. What I'm doing is I'm aiming right about the neck area, but that's kind of a guesstimation because, like I said, the red dot is much bigger than the head of the target, and the red dot is actually as wide as the torso itself with this particular one. But just wanted to show the accuracy that you could get out of this. So we're engaging targets at 200 easily. So we're just gonna keep on loading up, keep on shooting. All right, so we're up close now. We're up close personal, about 15, 20 yards. We're just gonna go ahead and do some speed shooting between the two and just do some transition drills so that way I can get used to bumping back and forth between the targets. All right. All right. All right, so look, we got him swinging out there a little bit. So this thing's going back and forth really good. One of the things I really like about this, especially with the AK platform, and you got a couple of your AR variants as well, is what I like is that this has a really low mount on here, and you still have your height over bore issues and stuff like that with AKs, just like you do ARs, but your stock is lower than your mount. So this is a nice sleek thing. So as you're clearing obstacles and doing different things, you have less stuff to get caught on. So like on my ARs, I usually have a higher mount on here, and it'll be flat top all the way down, and then it just got this big sight sticking right up in the middle of the gun that gets caught on stuff or branches, whatever, fences, you name it, whatever obstacle you're trying to clear. But one of the things I like about these is when you bring them up, it feels a little more instinctual. When you bring them up, bring the AK variants up to your shoulder, and then also I like the fact that they sit right down on the cover itself. So we're gonna keep loading up, and we're gonna keep on shooting. Targets down range are about 30 30 yards, somewhere around there. I'm going to run the VTAC board, but since this only comes with one magazine with it, and it's a proprietary magazine, we don't have any extras with us right now for this testing. So what I'm going to do, just for training's sake, is I'm going to start with the empty weapon and do like I'm going for an emergency reload. So we'll start off with that, and then I'll start running through the VTAC board and just going from there, just to see how well this maneuvers around in the VTAC board. All right, come up. All right, so we'll go ahead and reset it. We'll run the same drill again. What I'm gonna do this time is I'm gonna start off with one round in the chamber. I'll come up, I'll fire my first one, I'll run out of bullets, and I'll have to go for my emergency reload. So it's just another technique for when you're short on resources and just still wanna get your reps in on the range. All right, ready? All right, do another time or two, just for practice. All right. All right. All right, so that's my last round. I'm gonna go ahead and reload, and then we'll get back up and we'll run some more. All right, so we're still back here at the VTAC board. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna run a couple different drills with it, just for maneuverability and just to get a feel for this. I'm gonna start prone, one round in the chamber, fire that round, come up, do a reload, move over to telephone pole, get behind that, use that as cover, and send a long range round. So here we go. Right. All right, so now I'm going to reverse the drill, just so that way I'm going moving different to different positions. So take the magazine out, leaving one round in the chamber. I'm going to fire, come to, it's going to end up empty. I'm going to have to do an emergency reload, right? So I'm going to start off close, and then I'm going to go long. All right, so this is a lot of fun. Get to get out here with this and shoot this. So we went through a lot of rounds today, going back and forth to all these different positions. And what we're able to do with these is train with these full time. And we're not spending a large amount of money on 7.62 by 39. These do have proprietary magazines, so they're not going to be interchangeable with your pistols or anything like that. but what you are going to get on this is you're going to get the cost savings of the ammo. So that's one of the things I really like with this, and it's still accurate enough for you to engage out to 200, so you can still get all of your pertinent training in with it. So, all right, so we had a lot of fun shooting this today. So this thing handled like a champ, exactly like you think a good quality AK would. So what we have here today, going back over this and recapping, is this is the Kalashnikov USA KR-9. Okay, so this is based off the Vityaz submachine gun model. This of course has a 16-inch barrel, but the model that they base it off of comes as a short barrel SBR. This comes with a steel stock. This is a stamped steel stock, and it folds. So you got a little button back here. You can fold it right up onto itself, which makes a really compact platform. The button itself acts as a spring here to help push it away, and then you have the little notch. There's a little pin sticking out here with a little notch. So you just pop this right up, open it up, hit it, you're ready to go. So you can see there's a little V notch right here for this to slap into. So it comes with a stamped steel receiver, and it also has a steel cover, and the cover has Picatinny rail attached to it. Okay, it comes with polymer furniture. You got the polymer grip. Grip feels really good. This is really smooth. There's really no texturing on here whatsoever, and I'm assuming they kind of left that blank just for you to be able to do what you want to it, or give it whatever treatment you want. If you want to stipple, if you want to go grip tape, or if you just want to leave it smooth. But this is a really slick surface here. Didn't have any problem with grip during sweat or anything like that, but real nice fat grip on here to grab a hold of. You got your polymer furniture here, your hand guard and everything. You got a 16-inch barrel on here. So this would be a PCC, and that's the reason that you can get this with a stock instead of the forearm brace. If you order the short model, then of course you're going to have to get the forearm brace that goes with it. It comes with standard AK sights on here, so just like all the other AK sights, right up here, and then one up on the gas block. So this is not. This is just here for placement, for just to hold everything just the way it should, but this is not an actual gas block. This is a blowback design. So because this is not a gas block, this is not going to get super hot. So what they've done is they've attached a Picatinny to the bottom here, and that allowed me to put a foregrip on it, just like I like to run on my AR. So I threw it on here, ran a little bit with it, a little bit without it. I actually prefer the grip, so I can get a nice, I'm not using the iron sight, so I can get a nice big purchase right around the end of it here. It makes it a little quicker on transitions and going back and forth between targets when I got my arm out just a little bit further instead of holding way back here by the magazine well. You got the magazine well on here also. This is a polymer magazine well, so it has a little reinforcement here. So this is stamped steel frame, receiver and cover, but polymer lower. It has a steel trigger guard and steel trigger. So this polymer is just riveted in here. So to show you guys the blowback design, this also has a stamped, this also has the cover on here. Move this back. So I got this sight pushed a little forward here, but it has a hinged cover, so you don't have to worry about this coming off, flying away or anything. I prefer hinged covers myself. So this pops right up. Push this in. Go ahead and take this back. Just to show you guys the pull this out. So as you can see here, this is not a gas piston, this is solid. So this is just to ride into the normal places where the gas system usually works, but this is all just one big solid piece here. So you got your recoil spring and everything. So this accepts the standard AK trigger groups as well. So for those of you that already have AK triggers, or you already know how to tune an AK trigger, or you have your favorite brand or whatever that you like, then that makes this really easy to transition over to. Put this back in here. Forward. All right, so what you get out of this is you get the ability to be able to run 9mm all day. 9mm, of course, is going to be cheaper than 7.62 by 39. So you can train efficiently with this, but still get all the main characteristics of your of your other AKs if you prefer this platform. I really like the AK platform. I don't get to train with it as much. I got a few SKSs and some AKs in the armory at home. But this retails for right around $970, and I think it's pretty good value, but where the value is going to come is in the ammo savings on over the 7.62. So we know we like it, and we hope you like it too.